I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of Bellbird Park, the land on which I live, the Jagera, Yagara and Yurugabal peoples. I respect and honour their diverse language, culture, customs and traditions, and pay tribute to elders past, present and emerging. I honour the cultural diversity of all First Nations peoples and celebrate the continuous important contributions Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures make to Australian society. When I reflect upon my own personal history of engagement with First Nations peoples and how I have come to be the person I am today, I'm confronted with being naively influenced by inappropriate ideology through school, social media, family and friends. The tales of a peaceful settlement didn't feature the brutal truth of the 3 periods of invasion and colonisation by the British to dispose of, dispossess and legislate against the lives of First Nations peoples in a state-sanctioned and organised attempt to eradicate Aboriginal people. Furthermore, the impact of negative stereotypes regarding First Nations peoples had significantly influenced my desire for interaction. My knowledge of the profound and ongoing injustices suffered by First Nations peoples was limited, and I now feel compelled to become an ally in their journey for justice. The conquest for domination continues through the systems and structures in which surround me, showcasing Western values, further oppressing First Nations peoples. The only place in my local living environment that I encountered a true sense of recognition and genuine value for First Nations cultures, viewpoints and country was at my son's daycare, where various artefacts can be seen proudly on display. I did notice Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags flown at the local schools and a mural which was a pleasant surprise. Educational settings aside, I'm shocked at the almost non-existent extent to which mainstream cultures and spaces acknowledge and value Indigenous peoples, cultures, perspectives and country, and I feel somewhat embarrassed that I've never truly recognised or appreciated the significance of this until now. In an attempt to interpret why this is so, I reflected upon how the betrayal of superiority within the dominant culture has been fashioned over time, and how the dominance of Western ideas have been relentlessly imposed upon marginalised groups. This socially constructed, discriminatory divide can be seen in the presence of profound systemic racism and enduring genocide through forced assimilation for Aboriginal people. My white identity affords me the privilege to remain inclusive within mainstream environments and cultural customs. However, the face of mainstream environments illustrates the need for alternate cultural agendas, recognising minority groups and affording them equity and equality in terms of rights, access and opportunity. To more deeply analyse my findings, I moved away from these constructed urban spaces and explored my local parklands. The land as place is an integral part of First Nations people's cultures, identity and health. Rather than just a physical space, the land represents the interconnected physical, symbolic, spiritual and social aspects of First Nations cultures. Here in this relatively untouched place, I began to feel a spiritual sense of First Nations cultures and identity and a sense of country. This journey further highlighted the need for non-Western perceptions of place that incorporate elements of Indigenous perspectives regarding the relationship between identity and place. So in closing, in the words of Max Gillamunmun, it is only through understanding and respect for the land, the spirit, and its meaning to traditional custodians can we begin to heal and walk a path alongside one another, not out of reconciliation, but of finally giving the truth the recognition that it deserves.